Every day we're surrounded by content, and most of it looks the same, feels the same, and to be honest, fades away the second we scroll past it. Now ask yourself, why do you follow certain people consistently? What is it that makes you resonate with some creators and not others? Today, we're cutting through all the bullshit. This video is going to show you exactly how to build a personal brand that not only captures attention, but keeps it. So if you're ready to genuinely elevate your personal brand with depth, originality, and influence that lasts for years, put your phone down, close all other tabs, get a paper and pen and take notes, because this is going to be the most valuable YouTube video you see this week, so lock the fuck in. Now, I've worked with dozens of creators over a plethora of different industries, from coaches to consultants to entrepreneurs with massive followings and huge businesses. One thing that I've seen consistently is that it doesn't matter how good at business you are, the most impactful personal brands are those that are authentic, consistent, and unique. And not everyone can reach that level of Gary Vee, Alex Hormozi, Iman Gadzhi, but I'm here to break down exactly what it takes into actionable steps so that it is accessible to you and anyone watching this video. Let's start with the very core of every personal brand, authenticity. People watch a lot of content, meaning they can see through fake personas and bullshit pretty much instantly. Whenever someone's faking it, trying to replicate someone else's style, or just rattle off ideas that they don't really believe just because they've seen them on the internet, it shows. And this is actually going to do you a disservice and create distrust. You see, when you're authentic, you're not just portraying an image. You're creating content and you're coming across in a way that's genuine, raw, and as a result, that's going to be magnetic to people, as everyone's trying to build a genuine, raw connection with people. And content's no different. People recognize when they're seeing the real you, and that alone is what allows them to drop their guard and actually build a connection with you. And when you're creating content as your authentic self, it's going to eradicate creative block as you're just being yourself, and the ideas are going to flow much easier. Authenticity isn't just a content creation trend or technique. It's non-negotiable if you want people to trust you and build a connection with you long term, both in your content and obviously outside as well. It's going to allow you to operate at a frequency where you're actually your true self. One of the biggest conflicts that I see in the sort of content creation world when it comes to being authentic is the whole steal like an artist trend, where you see what's working on social media, you take the idea and you copy it. Now, it is tempting to replicate what's popular, although there is a fine line between taking inspiration from a popular trending idea and just copying something word for word. Your audience is smarter than you're going to give them credit for, right? They can see when you're literally just copy and pasting something, and when you've put thought into something and you're genuinely creating it from a point of experience and understanding. This steal like an artist mindset and trend is really helpful when you do it right, but the way you should kind of apply it is by taking the core principle or concept that's spoken about in the reel, putting your own twists on it, scripting it in a completely different way, and get across your insight and understanding and interpretation of the concept. Make it your own, make it authentic. So, actionable steps for kind of making your content more authentic. A few questions to ask yourself to see if you're getting the best out of your content right now. What values do you actually hold dear? And don't worry about if this goes against the status quo. For example, Christianity. If you're afraid to get that across in your content, don't be. That's your authentic self. You don't want to hide any elements of yourself. If you have some unpopular opinions, as long as they're not like offensive and rude, get them across in your content. If you have a unique viewpoint on a certain topic, share it. Always be your authentic self, even if it kind of puts other people off. It's going to help you to build an audience of people who actually resonate with you and your beliefs. This goes for all of your unique perspectives, even if they go against the norm. For example, it could be a marketing strategy, it could be a religious belief, it could be diet or a training routine. Don't be afraid to go against the norm. And arguably the most important element of authenticity is sharing your true self. Okay, your story, your struggles, your successes. This is where your audience actually going to really deeply resonate with you on a more personable level, as they can relate to experiences on a more empathetic level. It makes the whole experience more tangible for them, and it makes you as a creator more relatable and understandable. So in a nutshell, authenticity is all about putting your genuine self out there without any sort of filters or limitations, finding a tribe of people who subscribe to the same ideas, same values as you. That's how you build a really core cult-like audience that genuinely connects to you on a relatable, personable level. Hope that makes sense. Consistency is much more than just posting regularly. It's not just about making sure you post a reel every single day, but it's also consistency with things like your messaging, your framing, your ideologies, etc. You could be posting every single day across all platforms, but if your content feels scattered and your messaging is different from one day to the next, people are going to have a hard time understanding exactly who you are, what your values are, and what your message is. When your personal brand's message is consistent, people know what you stand for, they know what to expect from you, and they know what to keep coming back for. This kind of consistency is going to position you as top of mind in a certain niche for your audience, and it's going to position you as an authority and a figure of expertise. Like I said, a lot of people think they're consistent just because they're posting often. But if you're not showing up with the same tone, the same message, the same clarity every single time, your audience is going to get confused. Inconsistency in both volume and message is going to weaken the trust between you and your audience. For example, imagine going to a friend or family member for advice, and each time they give you a completely different answer. You'd start to wonder if they really know what they're actually talking about. And the same exact thing applies for your audience, okay? They need to be able to build up that level of trust and reliability with you and your brand. So, actionable steps for consistency obviously includes things like posting as much as possible, showing up every day. That's like the baseline principle for consistency. But when it comes to consistency in your messaging, take a moment to sit down and clarify exactly what your core message and your core principles are for your brand. Write it down, internalize it, and make sure that every piece of content that you make relates back to this. I'm going to be making a video tomorrow about how we can kind of further dial in on this consistency principle. But for now, write down exactly what your core message is, make sure that you remember it, and that every piece of content, this messaging is applied to it. Another key tip is think about expanding your reach. Okay, if you're just posting on Instagram and TikTok right now, for example, think about showing up on YouTube, expanding to email, LinkedIn, YouTube Shorts, right? Even Twitter. So you can expand the angles at which you're coming at your audience from, so you can further stay top of mind across all platforms. And again, I'm going to be digging even deeper into this concept in a future videos, so make sure you subscribe for some exclusive value on this YouTube channel. Being omnipresent, aka coming at people from all angles on all different platforms, and being consistent with your visuals and your brand identity, making you much more recognizable, is going to reinforce your brand from multiple fronts, which you can create a strong, dependable presence for your audience that they can keep coming back to get value, to build that connection with you. Hope that makes sense. This is the part of building a personal brand and creating content that a lot of people fall short in. The key problem with people, especially in my niche, in the content creation niche, but also in the fitness niche and other really popular niches, is that they will see a piece of content, they'll see an idea, a piece of value, and they will copy and paste it into their content without adding their own viewpoints, anything new to the value. They'll just completely copy and paste it. So a question to bear in mind when you're creating content is, if this piece of information could come from anywhere or any other creator, why should they follow you in particular? To create unique value, you need to go deeper. And this ties back into that idea of authenticity that we covered at the start. You need to start at the base level, right? Absorbing knowledge. Read books, watch long-form YouTube videos, podcasts, look at case studies, and reflect on your own ideas, insights, and things that you've learned. Build up multiple skill sets, build up a unique stack of knowledge that you can then share with your audience. Content creation isn't about just regurgitating what's already out there. It's about the fuck. Yeah, baby. This isn't just about regurgitating what's already out there on the internet. It's about taking your unique stack of knowledge, your unique insights, your unique experiences, taking those ideas and distilling concepts through your own perspective. Again, making them unique to you, making them your own. One way to create unique value and make ideas and concepts your own is to brand ideas with your own unique mechanism. Firstly, obviously you have to develop systems, frameworks, or ideas that are unique to you and have been sort of shared through your perspective, like I just covered. Maybe it's a unique 3-step framework that you discovered using your experience to create amazing content. Maybe it's a unique diet plan that you've seen online and you've put your own twist on it, okay? From there, you can brand that idea, you can give it a name, and this is gonna add weight to it when you share it in your content and share it with your audience. That idea and that concept is unique to you, and it's the only place they can kind of get that idea from. Hope that makes sense. One way to consistently share unique value is obviously by consistently learning and consistently accessing new information. And while scrolling away on your phone is one way of doing that, it's not a very efficient and it's not a very sustainable way of doing it. So the way that I would suggest that you consistently put out unique value and consistently learn is by creating a knowledge gathering habit. Spend time each week consuming valuable resources, things that are going to push your understanding in your given field even deeper. Books, podcasts, long-form content, speak to people you know, journal what you learn, and consider how you can apply that to your brand or your offer. Next, distill those insights into unique ideas, unique frameworks, unique systems, and brand them in your own unique way. For example, if you're in the fitness industry, you might read about a diet that you really like, and then you might read about a workout plan that you really like. You might combine these two concepts, brand it as something unique, and then share that with your audience. The idea, like I said before, is to provide something to your audience that they can only get from you, a unique concept, a unique mechanism. People want to follow someone that they relate to, someone that's been through similar struggles to them, someone who isn't afraid to share their story and the mistakes they made, but at the same time, they also want to follow someone who is 3 steps ahead of where they currently are. Someone who can guide them, provide insight based on the experience they have in that given field. So the key to this is balancing reliability with authority. People want to be able to relate to you as a person while still looking up to you as someone who can provide them with value. If you become too relatable and too personable, it can put you on a level playing field. You need to establish some sort of authority so people look up to you as someone who is an authority figure, someone who can provide value, and someone who is 3 steps ahead. On the other hand, if you position yourself too far up the ladder, too authoritative, there's going to be a disconnect between you and your audience, and they're going to see the results that you provide and the offer that you're giving them as unrealistic, intangible, and that disconnect between your audience is going to result in a weaker brand presence and resultantly less progress for your brand. So your audience should be connected to you as a person, but also respect you as an authority figure. And how do we do this? So we share our story, make it relevant to our audience, highlight the pain points, the dream outcomes, the things that you did to get to where you are now. Show them that you understand the struggles they're currently experiencing because you've been there yourself. And at the same time, share the solutions that you use to overcome those problems. The solutions you developed, the systems you used, and the unique insights that you kind of gained that sets you apart from everyone else. Position yourself as a guide, someone who's been there, done that, and got the t-shirt. This is going to create that dynamic where people kind of relate to you, see that they're on the same path, but at the same time, they see that you're further along down the journey, you're 3 steps ahead, and you are that authority figure. So there's a lot of information there, but to summarize, to build a strong, long-lasting personal brand, you need to be authentic, consistent, and unique. People are looking for realness, and they can spot inauthenticity from a mile off. They want someone they can rely on with a clear message that resonates, not just once, but consistently throughout their content. They're also looking for unique value and unique stories that they can't get anywhere else. When you combine these 3 elements, you create a brand that is magnetic, trustworthy, and powerful. So take these steps, take these action points, start applying them, and watch your personal brand literally transform. Now, there's a lot of value in there completely for free. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe because I've got a load more videos coming out just like this. Trying to go to 2 uploads a week now. If you want a bit more of a deep dive into your brand in particular, I've left a link in the description below where you can book a one-to-one call with me of how we can build up a cult following for you, dial in a unique offer and unique value, and monetize your personal brand to make you a full-time creative. Like I said, link for that is in the description. Be sure to check out my Instagram as well for a bunch of free value. But that is it for this video. I'll see you on Sunday.